Well, hey everyone, Lisa Tamati here. Just wanting to welcome you into my YouTube channel. I'm the host of a podcast called Pushing the Limits as well. And today we're going to be talking about the foundation of aging and why the immune system is the foundation for healthy aging. So unraveling the role of immunosenescence and why slowing or stopping the decline of our immune system is the key to increasing health span. So aging is a complex process influenced by various factors, and many of the hallmarks of aging, it used to be 9, now it's 12, are affected by the state and the health of the immune system. And there's a quote by a doctor who I love, who I just had on the podcast, Dr. Rob Silverman, who is the author of Immune Reboot. And he says, "You are only as healthy as your immune system. The master switch is a robust and resilient immune system." So at its core lies the intricate dance between time and our immune system. Immunosenescence is the gradual deterioration of the immune system with age, and this plays a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of aging. Our immune system serves as the body's defense force, tirelessly working to protect us from pathogens and maintaining internal harmony. However, as we age, this once really vigilant system undergoes changes that compromise its efficiency. So immunosenescence encompasses alterations in both the innate and the adaptive immune responses, leading to a decline in the body's ability to recognize and combat threats. So what are the key factors in immunosenescence? Well, one is thymic involution. The thymus is a crucial organ, sits here up in your chest, and it's a crucial organ for T cell maturation. So it undergoes involution, or it shrinks as we age, diminishing its ability to produce new, fully functional T cells. And this decline hampers the adaptive immune response. It also reduced immune cell proliferation. Aging impairs the proliferation and function of immune cells, such as B cells and macrophages, contributing to a weakened defense system against infections. Inflammation and cytokine dysregulation. So chronic low-grade inflammation, termed inflammaging, becomes more prevalent with age. And this persistent state of inflammation disrupts the delicate balance of cytokines, signaling molecules, which are crucial for immune communication. And inflammation accelerates aging. The next things are telomeres are shortened by a weak immune response. So these are the consequences of immunosenescence. You have an increased susceptibility to infections. The waning of the immune function makes older individuals more susceptible to infections, leading to higher morbidity and mortality rates. A great example I have with my mum, who those my listeners know her story. She's 82 years old. She's had a lot of medical issues, from aneurysms to cancer to strokes to you name it. Her immune system is always what I am trying to modulate and improve and make more resilient, because as it is, at her age, it's very, very susceptible. She's very, very susceptible to anything that comes along. And so I'm always looking for things that can improve her immune system and the landscape of her immune cells. So impaired vaccine responses are also another thing that happen as you get older. So vaccinations become much less effective in older individuals due to this weakened immune response. And then another thing that goes wrong is autoimmune disorders. The dysregulation of immune responses may contribute to the development of autoimmune disorders, where the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues. And then there's the cancer susceptibility. A compromised immune surveillance system allows for the escape and the proliferation of potentially cancerous cells, increasing the risk of cancer as we get older. In other words, without a well-functioning immune system, we are susceptible to all of the diseases of aging. So it's really fundamental to any longevity regime to address this first. So while aging is currently inevitable, steps can be taken to mitigate and slow the impact of immunosenescence. And that includes things like healthy lifestyle, so proper nutrition, regular exercise, adequate sleep, contribute to the overall immune system health. And we're not going to dive into that too much today. but just to be aware of that. And then also immunomodulatory therapies are also another approach. So ongoing research into supplements, into peptides, drugs, to explore interventions to modulate the immune system and potentially reverse aspects of immunosenescence. And this is what we're going to be tackling today a little bit. So stress mitigation. So chronic stress has many, many negative downstream effects that detract from your immune system's ability to function. And understanding the pivotal role of immunosenescence in aging emphasizes the need for proactive measures to support the immune system health, and immune health impacts all of the hallmarks of aging. And that's why I wanted to tackle this first at the base of all the hallmarks of aging, is tackle first the immune system as the foundation in which to build upon your health. So as research progresses and we're unlocking the secrets of immunosenescence, it holds promise for developing innovative strategies, supplements, lifestyle interventions, and more to promote healthy aging and improve the quality of our life in later years. And we're going to get on to a couple of things that we can do. So the new era of immune support, it all starts, and one of the things that I love and something that I want to talk about today is colostrum, but it doesn't end with colostrum. It's the start. So what is colostrum? So colostrum is a biological fluid produced from the mammary glands of female mammals shortly after giving birth. And the fluid has a distinct composition, different from the milk produced afterwards. And the composition of colostrum provides immediate immune protection to the newborn. Now, in humans, some degree of protective passive immunity is transferred to the fetus during gestation to a higher degree than in other mammalian species. But the human colostrum then further supports the continued development of the newborn's immunity. And that's why it's really important that babies do get breast milk, if at all possible, when they're born. However, in many mammals, a newborn baby arrives with no immune protection. So human babies do have some from the gestational period, but others arrive with nothing, and they are completely reliant on colostrum. Now, research provides evidence for the transfer of cytokines, immunoglobulins, growth factors, antimicrobial compounds, and maternal immune cells to the newborn via the feeding of colostrum. And colostral secretions are designed to provide protection critical to neonatal survival during the early days of life, as well as sustained growth and development of babies later in their life. Now, bovine colostrum from cows is especially rich in immune factors, amino acids, nucleotides, and growth factors. And colostrum whey is the liquid remaining after the removal of casein and fat. So whey protein, which you may know well about, is a well-known nutritional supplement in the sports arena, including for people like bodybuilders and athletes. So colostrum whey contains compounds with a direct bactericidal effect, and in addition, it contains compounds that trigger the immune defense mechanisms to further help eliminate bacteria and viruses. But today, I wanted to take you one step further than colostrum. Colostrum is great, but we now have other things that we can look at that are actually derived from colostrum that are much, much more powerful. And the first one that I wanted to put on your radar, and there are a couple, but the first one that I wanted to do today was to talk about something called immune defense protein. That's something that I've come across recently, and we're researching it for our formulations at our company, Avum Labs. Now, what IDP does and how does it work? So IDP, or immune defense protein, is a bioactive whey protein complex extracted from pasture-fed milk, comes from New Zealand cows. It provides effective selective antimicrobial activity to support the body's microbiome. And this selective antimicrobial activity supports our microbiome by suppressing harmful pathogens and viruses. Now, while being relatively ineffective against important probiotic and commensal, or the good species that the body needs to maintain good health. In other words, it goes after the baddies, leaves and spares the goodies. So immune defense protein as an anti-inflammatory has anti-inflammatory properties that support tight gut junctions, which are super, super important for maintaining good digestive health and supporting our immune system. If tight junctions loosen, this can lead to accelerated organ aging. Take note, this can lead to accelerated organ aging and many deleterious downstream effects. When we get a loosening of the tight junctions, And this can happen for many, many reasons, but toxins, things like gluten, foods that you're allergic to, viruses, all these things can cause the junctions in our gut to loosen. And when they pull apart, particles that are undigested food particles that are too big or other pathogens can get through into the bloodstream and cause havoc. And this can lead to problems with brain function. This can lead to all sorts of problems, and it accelerates the aging process. And this is something that we want to make sure our gut health is good so that we keep those tight junctions. Super, super important. So immune defense protein does exactly that. It supports the tight gut junctions. Very, very important point. Now, IDP also combines lactoferrin, and lactoferrin is like a transglycosylating sponge. It sucks up the high blood sugars that are that are running around in the body. If you have too much carbohydrates, for example, you have these AGEs, they're called, advanced glycation end products. And lactoferrin is a known transglycosylating, it's hard to say that word, product that sort of sucks up this sort of issue. So lactoferrin is in this. Now, the other one is lactoperoxidase. And it also has immunoglobulins together with 50 plus minor bioactive proteins. Now, this novel whey protein fraction delivers a powerful synergy that supports the immune system by providing natural protection from free radicals, inflammation, and infection. And it's a really safe and effective natural option for supporting health and wellness. And when I say safe, this is the sort of thing that I've researched because I have a mum who is very delicate and fragile, and I've got to be very careful what I put into her regime. There is nothing negative about IDP, and it's very safe, and it's only got positive benefits. So I was willing to put this into her regime. So it's a very safe and effective natural option for people who are perhaps older adults or people that are immunocompromised, etc. So this powerful synergy has great potency, has a greater potency, I should say, than its key isolates, which are lactoferrin and lactoperoxidase and immunoglobulins. When these work together, they support the body's microbiome and provide effective immune support based on powerful antimicrobial, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory properties. So lactoferrin and lactoperoxidase immunoglobulins are some of the 50 plus bioactive proteins that are found in IDP. But beyond their essential nutrient function in providing amino acids, the proteins present in IDP also play an active role in supporting our immune system. So bioactive proteins have proven antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antiviral properties, as I mentioned, and those lactoferrin and the lactoperoxidase in particular play an important role in our innate immune defense system. So they boost the body's natural protection against pathogens and viruses. And if there's anything that we've learned out of the crisis of the last 4 years is that we need to protect ourselves with natural protection against these viruses. And this is something that we can do something that I am very aware of, putting in anything that's going to help with my gut health, with anything that's going to help with my protection against viruses. And this is one part of my regime. Now, bioactive proteins are naturally present in biological fluids. So they're also available in tears and saliva. But IDP has selective antimicrobial activity, which inhibits the growth of pathogens and prevents virus infection of the cells. And this activity helps prevent infection and supports the natural defense systems. And there's been a lot of research done on this. One of the trial outcomes is that IDP has the potential to increase the antibody response. So there was a study done that was a 4-fold increase in an antibody response. And this is generally considered to be protective in the event of infection. Now, this study highlighted a potential beneficial effect of high-dose IDP supplementation. In this case, it was 200 milligrams a day, improving antibody responses against the influenza vaccine and potential impact on inducing protective immunity if it was taken on a daily basis. So in the study, older adults were given IDP and they had a much more robust response to the influenza vaccine when they were given it. One of the hallmarks of being older is that you don't respond to vaccines for this very reason. because your immune system can't mount a proper antibody response. So by showing this, they've really showed that they're giving you back the immune system basically of a younger person, which is really, really exciting. So IDP has anti-inflammatory activity, and tests have been completed in vitro and in vivo to measure its anti-inflammatory activity, and it's a potent inhibitor of the inflammatory cytokine IL-6. And IDP is as effective as aspirin at the same concentration in this activated neutrophil test. So what is IL-6 or interleukin-6? Now, this is one that you want to have on your radar and you want to understand a little bit about and why it's important. Now, interleukin-6 is produced by various cells, including T cells, B cells, monocytes, fibroblasts, and endothelial cells in response to infections and tissue injuries. Now, its production is stimulated by several factors, including other cytokines and viral infections and physical trauma. And functions and effects of IL-6 include things like the immune response regulation. IL-6 is involved in regulating the immune response, particularly the transition from innate to adaptive immunity. And I've done another video on innate and adaptive in a blog as well, but it promotes the differentiation of B cells, which produce the antibodies, and influences the T cell activation. So inflammation. So IL-6 plays a key role in inducing acute phase responses during inflammation. So that short term we want, but what we don't want is that ongoing interleukin-6 being raised for a long period of time. It stimulates the production of acute phase proteins by the liver, which helps in enhancing the body's defense mechanisms. It helps with fever induction, similar to TNF-alpha. Interleukin-6 can induce fever as part of the body's defense mechanism against infections by acting on the hypothalamus. Bone metabolism. IL-6 influences bone metabolism and has been implicated in the pathogenesis of osteoporosis by promoting bone reabsorption. In other words, when you have high levels of IL-6, it can help it can make your bone break down faster. So that's not a good thing. Metabolic regulation, it has roles in metabolic regulation, including the modulation of insulin resistance and the metabolism of fats and sugars. So while interleukin-6 is crucial for an effective immune response and healing processes, excessive or uncontrolled production of IL-6 is associated with several chronic inflammatory diseases and conditions, such as rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus, multiple myeloma, and various other autoimmune diseases and cancers. And given its central role in inflammation and immune regulation, IL-6 has become a target for therapeutic interventions in treating these diseases. In IDP, immune defense protein, lowers IL-6. Okay, that was the point of that whole rant there. Now, similar results were also achieved with IDP with TNF-alpha inhibition. So tumor necrosis factor alpha is a pro-inflammatory cytokine. A type of signaling program involved in the body's immune response is produced primarily by macrophages, a type of white blood cell that can also be produced by other immune cells such as lymphocytes. And TNF-alpha plays a crucial role in the immune system's defense against infections and its response to injuries. However, it's also involved in that inflammatory process. And functions and effects of the TNF-alpha include inflammation. So TNF-alpha is a key mediator of inflammation. It helps initiate the inflammatory response to infection or injury. Again, we want that initially by activating various immune cells and promoting the release of other cytokines and inflammatory mediators. Helps with fever, as we said before. TNF-alpha can induce a fever by acting on the hypothalamus, the part of the brain that regulates that body temperature. It causes apoptosis. It can induce apoptosis, which is a programmed cell death in certain cells, which is a mechanism the body uses to remove damaged or infected cells. And it can also do cell signaling. So TNF-alpha is involved in cell signaling that can lead to the activation, proliferation, and differentiation of immune cells. Now, while TNF-alpha is vital for healthy immune response, once again, its overproduction is associated with several chronic inflammatory and autoimmune diseases like arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis, psoriasis, and ankylosing spondylitis. Now, immune defense protein lowers TNF-alpha. And that's a very important other distinction to bring out about immune defense protein. It's also anti-inflammatory, and there was a clinical study that combined its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory actions inhibit the inflammatory pathway, which is initiated by a number of inflammatory conditions like joint pain, gut inflammation, obesity. So IDP, or immune defense protein, is made from pasture-fed New Zealand milk, and it has real significant benefits for the for your health and for your immune system. So I'm really excited about immune defense protein. There are other things that I'm researching as well, and we hope to have this in one of our formulations shortly. If you want to find out more, check the links down below. I will put some links down to some of the research and to Quantec, who have been working in this for a long period of time to bring this to bear. I'm very excited for what immune defense protein can do for us and our immune system, and in this battle to slow aging, to support our immune system, and to reverse immunosenescence. And that was the key from today's takeaway. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know that was a little bit technical. I hope I didn't lose you. Lose you all. If I spoke too fast, put it on 3/4 speed maybe, and listen to it a couple of times. But really, really good one to put on your radar, both colostrum and immune defense proteins, and there'll be others coming in this series. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like this. We really appreciate you. You can buy me a coffee. There will be a link down below in the show notes to that as well if you want to support the channel, and give us a big thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Make some comments below if you've got anything to add. If you know of any other things that can help with the immunosenescence, we are all ears. So make sure you put those comments down below in the feed. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening.